What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 10 Sleeper Picks.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to give you some of my top DFS Sleeper Picks for NFL Week 10 super low priced and low ownership players that could crush value this week and give your lineup an advantage over the field. These are risky plays meant for large tournaments only. Don't go all in on any of these guys. They are high risk, high reward picks. And if you stay to the very end after all my picks and after I show you the Draft Dashboard tools, I'll give you my super secret sleeper pick that no one's talking about. My Week 10 sleeper pick at the quarterback position is Brian Hoyer from the Indianapolis Colts playing the Miami Dolphins. Brian Hoyer is getting the start this week because of an injury to Jacoby Brissett. The Miami Dolphins have the second worst defense overall and give up the fifth most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Brian Hoyer has averaged 17.3 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 17 fantasy points in his last game out. He's only going to be about 2% owned. Projected at 10.2 fantasy points here tonight. He's $5,900 DraftKings salary and $1,200 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 44 points scored in this game, and they have the Colts favored by 11.5. This is a home game. Remember, Brian Hoyer was the backup to Tom Brady, and he's pretty good. He's got a fantastic matchup, so I like Brian Hoyer here versus the Miami Dolphins.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And then we'll send you $100 PayPal.
So it's that easy,
and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video.
So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, my Week 10 sleeper pick at the running back position. This is a risky one. I like Tariq Cohen from the Chicago Bears playing the Detroit Lions, who have the fourth worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Tariq Cohen has averaged 8.2 fantasy points per game on the season. He's getting an average of 3.3 rush attempts and 6.4 pass targets per game. So that's just about 10 touches per game on average, which is pretty low. But he's only going to be about 1% owned. He's on the field for 45% of the snaps, projected at 9.3 fantasy points here in Week 10. He's only $4,200 DraftKings salary and $800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 41.5 points scored in this game. They have the Chicago Bears favored by 2.5. This is a fantastic matchup, a home game, and it could be a running game script for the Chicago Bears. And Tariq Cohen can break one for a touchdown any given play. He doesn't need a ton of touches to rack up fantasy points, especially when he's involved in the passing game. So I like Tariq Cohen here versus the Detroit Lions. Okay guys, if you're getting any value from this video, please hit that red subscribe button. We put out new fantasy football videos every day. So if you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification, you won't miss out on any of our new fantasy football videos. Tons of free stuff coming your way. It only takes a second, and it helps us push out more fantasy football content for you guys to consume each and every day. It's because of you subscribers that make this possible. So thank you for supporting this channel. So my Week 10 sleeper pick at the wide receiver position, I was surprised to see this ownership this low. It's Marvin Jones from the Detroit Lions playing the Chicago Bears, who have the sixth best defense overall, and they give up the third fewest fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. So it must be the matchup that's scaring people away, because Marvin Jones has averaged 17.2 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 30 fantasy points last week off of 10 pass targets. He's averaging 7.1 pass targets per game, and he's only going to be about 2% owned. He's on the field for 88% of the snaps, projected at 13 fantasy points here in Week 10. He's $6,200 DraftKings salary and $400 more on FanDuel. They've got the Bears favored by 2.5, so Detroit should be playing from behind. So I like Marvin Jones here versus the Chicago Bears.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL, and you can try the tools for NBA. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, moving on to the tight end position. My Week 10 sleeper pick at the tight end position is Vance McDonald from the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the LA Rams, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 11th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Vance McDonald has averaged 8.2 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 4 pass targets per game, but he scored 14 fantasy points last week off of 7 pass targets. He's only going to be about 2% owned. He's on the field for 70% of the snaps, projected at 8 fantasy points here for Week 10. He's only $3,800 DraftKings salary and $1,800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 43 points scored in this game, and they have the Pittsburgh Steelers trailing by 4.5. So it could be a passing game script for the Steelers. Vance McDonald could be the beneficiary of that. This is a home game. He's heating up, so I like Vance McDonald here versus the LA Rams.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. You've unlocked the bonus content.
My super secret sleeper pick for NFL Week 10 is Robbie Anderson from the New York Jets playing the New York Giants, who have the 7th worst defense overall, and they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Robbie Anderson has averaged 8.3 fantasy points per game on the season, getting about 6 pass targets per game. He's only going to be about 2% owned, on the field for 93% of the snaps, projected at 11.3 fantasy points here on Week 10. He's $4,700 DraftKings salary and $1,200 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 45 points scored in this game, and they have the Jets trailing by 3. It's a home game, fantastic matchup. Robbie Anderson is the deep ball threat. He can catch a long one for a touchdown and bust a slate. So I like Robbie Anderson here versus the New York Giants. And he's going to be low owned because for the same price on DraftKings, you can get Tyler Boyd, who's averaging 14.5 fantasy points per game on the season and 10.3 pass targets per game. And we know Tyler Boyd has great upside, especially for that price. So Tyler Boyd's going to be about 8% owned on DraftKings, dropping Robbie Anderson's ownership, making Robbie Anderson the pivot play, the low ownership play that could find him in the winning lineup if he catches a couple touchdowns here in Week 10.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.
Do you want more fantasy football picks? check out the video linked right in the middle of the screen. If you got any value from this video, please tap that subscribe button before you get out of here and ring that bell notification so you won't miss our daily fantasy football uploads. We're putting out new videos every day, so I don't want you guys to miss any of our free content.